What's up, spectators? Welcome back to an episode of Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we came to see the witness of the murder, that we've heard anyways, from Gumshoe, and it's Wendy Oldbag. Also, we ran to Emma Skye. I totally forgot she's here because she hasn't been contributing at all. Now, we're currently in simulation mode. It's something that they introduced, that Kay introduced with her simulation device called Little Thief, so we can recreate the crime scene. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Kay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer? Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into Little Thief. She has a point. Okay. Now I'm fairly convinced that the victim was killed here, but then why is there no blood? There must be some explanation for this contradiction. Perhaps I should go over all the information I've gathered one more time. Well, what logic do I have? Oh, victim was kidnapper. Following kidnapper's prints lead us to a body. Costume! He was in a costume! Is it not possible that the victim was wearing a costume? So, you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers? I think we can reasonably assume there is a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while he was inside one of those stolen costumes, then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground. Precisely. Now, if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume, you'd think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them since there doesn't seem to be any around. Footprints. I wonder how we can go about finding some of those. Emma! This is your cue! Emma! Footprints! This is amazing! Just feel the power of science! Footprints, there it is! Ah ha ha ha! Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints. Ah! Finally, my expert knowledge in forensics is needed. Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints? Leave it to me! My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything. Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area. Okay, stand back now and witness the power of science at work. What a great team. They can be Edgeworth's Angels. Emma Skye, Kay Faraday, and Wendy Oldbag. I can send them out on missions. I found something. Look right there. I don't see anything. Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth. These footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume. Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest. We can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at the time. Victim's costume data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info. Nice! So the victim was wearing a costume when he died. And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right? I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention. What do you want? Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. Now I gotta present evidence to tell her to shut up. Oh, I know exactly what to present on. The statement where she says they didn't stand out at all in her mind, because that's absurd, because he was in a costume. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and saw two men facing each other. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot, and the person was shot. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Oh, she doesn't say it yet. Does this mean that Miss Oldbag's testimony has a contradiction? Yes. And I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation. See? I just knew Little Thief would be of help. Now let's see if we can pull more of it, info from Miss Oldbag to put into... Oh dear, I'm having a hard time reading right now. Hold on. Well, first of all, she should patent that shit. Make a blueprint. Oh, I'm sure they have a blueprint. And just sell it like crazy. You can start your own tech startup. With that, boom. Billions of dollars. You'd be forwarding science hundreds of years. Let's see. Well, I don't know about hundreds. Yes, hundreds. We can't do that now. Yes. Okay. Let's try reading this again now. Let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put into the recreation. For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. Nope. Here it is. This is the one. You saw two men? Can you describe them for me? They look like your average Joes, completely uninteresting. I'm telling you, they were blah blah blah. No features. You're jealous. Pretty worked up. Blah blah blah. We already read this last time. Nope, nope, nope. This is it. Oh, God. Ah, I'm losing control. Here it is. Objection! Yes! Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time. Oh! Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. Wow! I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the second tier. Where the hell is that? Didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, I was using the phrase in a metaphorical sense. I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. The cushy seats in the second tier are reserved for hotshot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap. I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there, it's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there? Well, I know I saw two people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow. Hard to make out the killer and victim that Oldbag saw in the stage's shadow. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know. Not like when I was young. Oh, okay. Good man, 100 paces. Flash tried to Hey, alright. Let's return to our investigation, shall we? You got it! I guess that can establish the time of death, because there's no shadow now. Let's see. Ah, wait. It looks like they broke the stage down. Oh, this is important? The stage I saw this morning in the center of the stadium has been packed away. I guess this means they're done for the day. Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. Okay. Hold on, let's see if I can connect these together. Because the stage creates a shadow. So the taller the stage, the larger the shadow is cast. Ha! If that woman's testimony is to the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief? Yes, if you please. Oh. Aha! That would, him standing on top of the stage would also indicate that, would explain the gunshot entry wound. There is clearly a contradiction. Hey, don't you fucking steal my line! Smackers! Stop stealing my lines. Oh, Shamona. It wasn't that hard to see it coming, even from a layman, for a layman like me. I suppose, in any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way. Because There was a very real stage set up in this spot at that time. I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything? Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage, naturally. Right, Miss Old Bag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of that stage. See? Now let me update the info in the simulation. Nice, everything really came together here at the end. Well, well, what do we have here? A bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we've discovered that the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium. I see. Thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Little Thief is not a toy. You too. Oh, don't confiscate it. Sir. Ah. Yeah, Join, you say... I mean, is the guitar from the Gaviners? Because the drum set has the badger symbol on it, and that's what threw me off originally. That's why I didn't think it was a Gaviners music setup. And there you have it. You see? Big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what? Do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course. Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreation showed. Oh. Wait a minute. Wasn't the entry wound the abdomen? That means the roles were reversed. How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with this gun. Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark. You see? Thank you for understanding, my little crow girl. I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend. Unfortunately, your conclusion has yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Hold it! Looks like we found the real crime scene first. Ha! Brag all you want, but we don't have all that free time unlike the two of you. Hee hee! You know what you remind me of? A dog licking his wounds as he whimpers home. Well, I guess I should be thankful for you all the time you saved me. For all the time you saved me. Shishi. That's how we say thanks in my country. You're welcome. I hope he realizes we didn't do all this for him. But I'm here now, so I'll be taking over. As I was saying, this is where the crime took place. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. This is definitely where I need to present eventually. Hold it! Lying in wait. How did Officer Meekins even know the victim was gonna come here? Simple. He was investigating the kidnappers, right? And while he was doing so, he came to understand the victim, Mr. Deakins' movements. Objection! Ha! And why would the good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper? You mean his motive? Who knows, and who cares? You can find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail. You have no respect for the order of law. Don't get me wrong, but I need more than there's no motive to convince me otherwise. He's right. The lack of a motive is a rather weak argument by itself. So, the officer lay in wait on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high.
Hold it!
So you agree with how our recreation turned out? Like I said, I'm grateful that you were able to save me some time. Alright, but we still don't know why he chose to wait on top of the stage. Who cares? Maybe he wanted to become the Blue Badger. Who's to say he didn't see the stage and decide to put on a Badger stage show of his own? Or maybe there's a completely different reason. What does it matter? It still doesn't change the fact that Officer Meekins stood up on that stage and shot the victim on the ground below. That's the truth your little recreation showed.
Hold it!
So you honestly believe that what you're saying is what really occurred? Hey, you're the ones who came up with the scenario. Are you saying you doubt yourselves? Touché. Unfortunately, Agent Lang's conclusions do not contradict with our recreation. Then does that mean it all went down just as he says? No, not quite. I wonder if what we had recreated earlier was the whole truth. Alright, we're back at the beginning? Alright. Here it is. Let's see. We should present... Is it the costume? No. Or the wound, the murder notes. Let's see. From abdomen through shoulder. Wait. From abdomen through... Okay, yeah. Damn, this is wrong. Okay. Alright. I was pretty sure that was gonna be right. Wow, this is a long punishment. Lang, she says, confidence is like a soul, and words without confidence are but empty shells. You shouldn't waste your breath on words you have no confidence in, Mr. Prosecutor. Although, it's just as bad to say something in full confidence and be wrong. You gotta let him lecture you about your self-confidence? I don't need to be overflowing with self-confidence. I just need to think rationally. After all, I only need to be confident in the facts. Boo, 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 doo, boo, doo. Let's try the costume this time. Nope, got it wrong. Alright. Oh my god, I can't skip the animation. Yes, I understand. I'm wrong. So where do I need to present then? And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. Maybe this is where I need to present it.
Objection!
That's what it was. I had the right evidence, just wrong statement. I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh, well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region, dear lord, and exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above. A clear contradiction. You're discounting your own conclusions? No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistaken parameter in our recreation. The killer and victim's locations. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong. I get it. I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds. But then, what about the footprints? Since footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume. Okay, I'll try using that data instead. Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. And with that conclusion, and it being over 20 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!